Hey guys, it's Dasha. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video, which is June's round of a game of tomes. You guys know the drill. I do this every month. It is a favorite here on the channel and for myself, but if you're not familiar, this is my TBR game. There is a playlist linked down below that has the first round, which goes over the board and the cards and the rules, and I play this almost every month since last April. So there's a lot to go through if you've never seen this, but if you have, you probably saw last month's, so let's see how I did on May's TBR. I gave myself a lot of leeway in May because I just was kind of in like a YouTube slump and I was really trying to not go into a reading slump. So I gave myself two of the prompts as like a multiple choice sort of. So two of the books I had were set, but for two of the prompts I gave myself multiple options, and I'm very glad to say I've completed everything. So I had, I don't remember what the prompt for that one was. I think the prompt for Ship of Destiny was a book over 500 pages or 700 pages, and this is for our read along. If you don't know, I am co-hosting with a few people over on Beautifully Bookish Bethany's channel. We're doing a read along of the entire Live Ship Traders. This is the third book. The live show for this is on May 30th. I don't know if I'm posting this before or after that, but either way it will be linked down below in case you want to rewatch it or join us. Obviously, since this was for a read along, I did complete this book, and that actually completes the series. Very proud of myself. I then had a prompt for a seasonal read, and May is spring obviously here in Canada, so I had a few things that I was like thinking of reading. The one I ended up going with was Dancing Bears by Witold Szablowski. This is a nonfiction about people that are, quote, nostalgic for life under tyranny. I did DNF this, but I gave it an honest shot, so I'm counting this for the prompt. This is what I picked up. This was what I was in the mood for. I just happened to not like it, but it is completed. I then had House Stark, and it was for a book that I wanted to reread. So I had a few options, of course, and of course the one I said in the video that I'm probably least likely to do is the one I went with. I read The Final Empire again by Brandon Sanderson. Loved it again the second time around. I just didn't think I'd get to it because it's a massive book, but I decided I was in the mood for some Brandy Sandy and I wanted to continue the series. So that fulfilled that prompt. And finally I had a wild card. I have The Time of Contempt by Andrzej Sapkowski. It doesn't look read yet. I normally tab it. I am filming this a little bit ahead of time, but it absolutely will be completed by the time May is done because this is also for a read along. This is a super short book actually too, so I'm sure I'll finish it in the next couple of days. I haven't even started, but I'm sure I'll read it in the next couple of days, so I'm counting this as done because there's no way it's not going to be. And that means, like I said, my TBR is completed, which is super exciting. And that concluded the Live Ship Traders read along, which I'm kind of glad because they were huge books taking up my TBR each month, and while I loved my experience reading the series, I am kind of glad to be going into other things. It is also a month full of fun stuff for me. I have some fun events planned for myself, so I don't want to burden myself with books, she says with a pile in front of her. There's a bunch of things I want to read that I'll kind of go over at the end of the video. Obviously I will do my usual 4 rolls, but I have a lot of things that I'm like kind of interested in, so I'll kind of, you know, mention those because why not? Might be fun. But I'm gonna try to keep it kind of tame. I have some buddy reads that I want to do with some friends, and of course I still have The Witcher along, so there's some things I'm gonna try to squeeze into the TBR. But for now, let's see what my rolls look like so I can start building the TBR. All right, if you'll recall last month, here's where we ended up. The lighting is really screwy. I'm really sorry. It's kind of overcast and weird, but hopefully you should still be able to see okay. And since we have no punishment, we're gonna go right on ahead into our roll number 1. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got a character, and we've got Sir Loras, which is the prompt to pick a book using a random number generator from a nonfiction TBR. Sir Loras might be as pretty as a maiden's dream, but underneath his white cloak, he was Tyrell to the bone. So our first roll is already a bit of a wild card. It's to use the random number generator on my nonfiction TBR. If you don't know, I organize my TBR on my like personal Goodreads by genres. So it just makes it easier for me to like find things if I don't know what I'm in the mood for, but I know I'm in the mood for a certain genre. And it's also great for the game because I can go do my little random number generator. So let me record on my iPad and we will get into this. So on my Goodreads, on my nonfiction TBR, I have 239 books. That's excessive. So we're gonna go into our, what did we have? 239. We're gonna go to 39 and generate 144. Don't want to count all that, but I'll have to. Oh, that's a classic, isn't it? Open Veins of Latin America. I'm pretty sure that one's considered a classic. Let's see. I've been wanting to read this one for a while because I have close to no knowledge on South America, unfortunately, beyond their ancient civilizations, but I do not have much knowledge, and of course what the US did to them. So Open Veins of Latin America, 5 Centuries of the Pillage of a Continent. This was published in the 90s, so since then a lot of things I'm sure have happened, but this is basically, oh, it's not the 90s? Okay, so it's first published in the 70s, okay. So this is first published in the 70s, so obviously a lot of things have happened since then. But I've heard that this is just a absolute classic in terms of understanding the perspective of people from Latin America and what has happened to them. I'm really interested in this. I don't know a lot about it. I just, like I said, I've heard it's a classic of nonfiction. So I'm going to probably go ahead and pick myself up a copy of this because I am quite interested. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Like I'm pretty pumped. Having read Shock Doctrine recently and seeing just the extent of American imperialism and the forceful imposition of American capitalism down there was very eye-opening, but also like really kind of disgusting to see it for myself. So I am looking forward to reading a perspective of someone who is intimately involved in it, because it's a lot easier for journalists to take the outside perspective, but this feels like it's going to be a bit more, not authentic I guess, but just more powerful because it is their lived experience. So looking forward to that one. So that's going to be for Sir Loris, The Open Veins of Latin America. All right, let's go for roll number 2. 6. We're moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another character. And we've got Brienne, read a standalone. She is stronger than me. The realization chilled him. So next we got the Lady Brienne. The prompt is to read a standalone. Now, depending on how big Open Veins of Latin America is, I might not want to read another nonfiction. So I've got of course, I've got again 2 options. First of these is another nonfiction. This one I have been itching to pick up. I am so excited for this one. It is Inventing the Individual by Larry Siedentop. So this is about the origins of Western liberalism, the idea of individuality and individualism in the common thought, how it's transformed into the political and into all of our spaces. I think this is going to be such an interesting read. Even the first page was just so impactful. I feel like this is a book I'm going to take so much from, not only for my personal life, but for some things that I wanted to do for the channel and some content I wanted to create. So I'm really looking forward to this. However, I might be burnt out on other nonfiction this month. I don't know. My brain just kind of goes to shit with the heat, so who knows what's going to happen. But I'm so humped. I was gonna say hyped and then pumped at the same time, so humped. I am so pumped for this one. I am so hyped for this one. I'm really excited. I just know it's gonna be dense though, which is why it's either this or probably an equally dense book, but one that I've kind of been in the mood for. I feel like it might be a little summary for a classic, and that's The Master and Margarita by Bulgakov, of course. I've been talking about this for a little bit. It is on my list of 22 books for 2022. I think this one is too though. This is a Russian classic set in the Soviet Union, involves like a talking cat and the devil visiting Moscow. And listen, I've been talking about how excited I am for this. I am just really excited. This is what my mom says is one of her favorite books, so obviously I want to connect with her on that. And I feel like it's going to be a bit more summary because it is kind of absurdist, and I've heard this translation is really good too. This is the Diana, what's her name? Burgin, Diana Burgin. I've heard this translation's really, really good of it. Of course, I can read in Russian. However, fuck, it takes a lot of brain power and I don't have a lot of it these days. I also feel like I might get more enjoyment out of it reading it, at least first in English to understand what is happening, and then go back maybe down the line and read it in its original language and get the original like sense of the text. But like my reading level in Russian is probably at like a 3rd grade, 4th grade reading level. While I'm fluent in speaking, my reading is just garbage, so I would never dare. So I'm gonna read this in English, hopefully. If not, this one's definitely more like up there for me, but I am still very much looking forward to this, and I'm thinking it might be summery. So these are both standalones, which is why they will work for the prompt for Brienne. Wow, I'm discombobulated today. These are both standalones, which is why they will work for this prompt, and I am very likely to read one of these two, if not both. You know, who knows, maybe I'll have like a stellar reading month. Kind of unlikely considering the other things I want to read, but anyways, these two for the prompt to read a standalone. All right, let's go for roll number 3. 3, another character card. All right, Sir Varys. Read a book with an animal in it, in the title or on the cover. Secrets are worth more than silver or sapphires. Next we have our favorite spider, the eunuch, Varys, and for this prompt I have to pick a book with an animal on the cover or maybe in the title. I am doing a buddy read of this book with Ray, so I thought I would squeeze it into the TBR as soon as possible, and that is Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. Now you guys know that this is a reread for me. This was one of my favorite books of last year. It's this epic adult fantasy about gods and an eclipse that's like gonna bring this god back to life, and there's like family dynamics and religious political dynamics, all sorts of good stuff. Love this book, and I suggested to Ray for her 12 friends pick 12 books for the year, and she decided she was going to read it soon, and so I'm going to reread it with her so that we can both read the sequel, Fevered Star, together. I had Fevered Star pre-ordered, and of course I didn't get to it like right near the pre-order because I kind of was thinking I might want to reread this anyways, so me and Ray will be reading it together. I hope she likes it. I'm so excited for her to read it. I love this for various reasons. The writing is absolutely the best part of this. For me, it was just so beautiful and lyrical, but I also loved, of course, the character dynamics and the politics, and the world just felt so cool. So I'm very excited to be back into this world, and I'm excited to continue the series, and there is a bird on the cover, therefore it fits the prompt for Varys. And let's go for our roll number 4. 2. 1, 2, which is House Greyjoy, and House Greyjoy's prompt is to read a sci-fi. Our final prompt is House Greyjoy, and this one is very simple. It is a genre prompt. I just have to read a sci-fi. Now, my initial thought was A Memory Called Empire by Arcady Martin. My hold from the library just came in for this, and I decided to borrow it just in case. I am filming this a week out from the end of May, so I might like start it in the month of May. However, the loan is only for 2 weeks. So in the event that either my brain decides to go kaput and does not want to read like heavy sci-fi, or I'm not able to finish it, I will bring these bad boys in as my backup. This is books 1 through 5 of the saga. Send help. Let me rephrase that. I have a hold that came in for A Memory Called Empire. I don't know if I will get to it in time. I don't know if I will get to it in June, or maybe I will read it all and swallow it in 2 days in May, because I'm filming this a week away from the end of May, so who knows. However, in the event that I do not get to it, because while that is a sci-fi, it is a space opera involving like politics and messiness, I do have several backups, namely in the form of volumes 1 through 5 of Saga, which is a sci-fi graphic novel series. I can speak. I read the first one, I absolutely loved it, and then I was like slowly collecting the rest, and then for Christmas both Ray and Robin got me the third one, which was just kind of funny because I guess it was like left over on my wish list from when one person sent it to me. So that was an adventure, but now I have collected with the help of my girls from 1 to 5. Thank you both. I love you both. And I'm very excited to continue on with this series. It's just so weird and the art is just kind of wacky and crazy. I don't know how they come up with the shit they do, but like I love it. It is like very, very sci-fi, and it's just a little bit lighter than like a memory called Empire, because that seems very heavy and political, and like I have to learn new names and stuff, and like sometimes my brain, it doesn't. So I'm thinking these would be great for like summer. I could blow through a couple of them, and they are obviously sci-fi, so that will be the main plan. I will try to get to Memory Called Empire as well, but we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna put these like on the TBR, if that makes sense. But like I might still read Memory Called Empire. If you don't know, Saga is a graphic novel series about two people from these like warring planets who fall in love and have a child, and then everyone's hunting them suddenly, hunting them and their child, because the child shouldn't exist, because, you know, it's not very good for propaganda if two people from these species that hate each other suddenly have a child together. So it's great. The art is really wacky. I really, really love the first installment, so I'm curious to see where it goes. Just flipping through it, it's super colorful, sexy, violent, all the fun stuff. So super pumped for that. All right, so that was the set TBR. However, I couldn't get several things onto the TBR that I wanted to. Namely, read-along book, the next book in the Witcher series, which is, I believe, Baptism of Fire. I don't have a copy yet. I will be getting my hands on it soon. Obviously, the Witcher series, I've been talking about it for so long on this channel. I'm not gonna go over it again. Geralt, Ciri, Monster Hunter, all that fun stuff. This is gonna be the third book in the series, technically, but the fifth book that we have read. And I'm super pumped for this. You guys know I've been loving the series, so that is going on the TBR. Officially, just not on the Game of Thrones TBR, I guess. I have started this in May, but I will be continuing House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. This is not something I thought I would read. However, Robin and I are buddy reading it and drinking along to it. If you don't know, I don't love Sarah J. Maas. I think her writing is, quite frankly, not great. However, I have made a drinking game to go along with this, inspired by a couple of people. If you follow me on Twitter, you probably will have seen it. So as I've been reading this, I've been drinking. And let me tell you, it's a very dangerous game I'm playing. I'm also vlogging this, so you will see a vlog of me like reading this book. And additionally, Robin and I are hosting live streams where we read this and drink together. And if you want to join us, like keep your eye out for that. I'll post it everywhere, of course. I just think it'd be fun to have you guys like join us, because they're going to be reading sprints, but we're going to be just like chit-chatting about the book and drinking and playing the drinking game. So I think it'd be a good time. I'm kind of excited. I'm not like enjoying the book so far, but I am enjoying the process. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I will definitely be reading this, continuing it through the month of June, because it is a chunky boy, and when you're drinking along, you have to pay attention. So it's taken a while. The only other thing I wanted to mention is the Mistborn series. So I am currently reading, at the time of filming this, The Well of Ascension. I will probably be done early June, so I will immediately pick up The Hero of Ages, because I want to just finish the series out. This is Brandon Sanderson's most well-known work, question mark? Either that or Stormlight Archive, but this is the one that everyone says like you should start with Brandon Sanderson. It's got that really cool magic system based on ingesting metals and like pushing and pulling and like all that cool stuff. First book follows this plot to overthrow the immortal ruler. It's really cool. I've been loving the series. As I mentioned earlier, I reread the first book in order to continue with the series, so I'm really hoping to just finish the series up, because I do love this world. I love the characters, and I also really want to start the Stormlight Archive, but I feel like I can't do that until I finish this series up. So this will probably be started in June. With everything else going on, I don't know if I will finish it, but I will definitely be starting it, so that's coming down the pipeline. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. It's a lot of things, but that is the TBR. We've got Black Sun, Saga, Baptism of Fire, we have got Inventing the Individual, and Open Veins of Latin America. I'm super pumped. Let me know if you've read any of the books on my TBR, if you liked them, if you didn't like them. Let me know what your summer reading plans are. I'm nosy as always. You guys can come talk to me in the comments, as well as in my social media, which is linked down below. Other than that, thank you for watching this chaotic mess. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.